In my last Geant4 video, we compiled Geant4 completely and we tried running an example. The only problem with compiling Geant4 just on its own is that you don't have visualization. So you can run things, you can run examples just like on the terminal window and everything. And if you're like a professional with Geant4, it's no problem. But for someone like me who's a beginner, I like to have visualization so I can see the simulation going on. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to compile Geant4 with Qt, which is a GUI visualization driver type of thing. And so what we're going to have at the end of today is something like this. This is example B1 again. But the difference is we can move it around and we can like interact with it. If we click here, we can run simulation and see it happen. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, guys. So to get started, if you guys want instructions on this video, over here on my GitHub, I have a document with all the instructions that I'm going to go over in this video. So if you missed anything, just go over here. I'll put a link in the description and you guys can check it out. So first thing we need when installing Geant4 is we need all the prerequisites. Specifically, we need CMake, we need Visual Studio, and we need the Geant4 source code zip file. Now, if you need step-by-step directions of installing these three things, check out my last video where I go over step-by-step how to do it, but I'm just going to skip over this and focus on installing Qt. So Qt is a very powerful tool that a lot of people use to design GUIs, to use visualization drivers. If we go over here and click on the price of it, it can be pretty expensive. Starting from $316 per month per user. So we don't want to pay for that, right? Luckily, there's other options for us. So if you click on download and try, there's a couple options. Well, actually, I'm going to start with my option. Since I'm a student and I'm doing a lot of research with Geant4 for school, you can actually go to resources here. And if you go down, you can get a Qt educational license. So if I click on that, you can actually get a Qt educational license for free. So what you need to do is fill out the form. You put your name, your school email, educational institution, and once you submit it, you'll get an email which will allow you to download Qt. So that's your first option. The second option is for those of you who aren't students who just want to use Geant4 with Qt for your own purposes, for fun, whatever. If you click here on download try, you can still get it for free. So I clicked on download try, and then here on the right, it says open source user. You want to click on this. Awesome. Now you want to make sure you read all these because since you're using Qt open source, they expect something from you. They want you to contribute back to them. And if you create like a product or an application, they want you to, I guess, attribute it back to them. So make sure you read through this whole thing, all your obligations, and then you can go down and find the download button. Here it is. So it says looking for Qt binaries. You can download the Qt online installer and click on your operating system. For me, it's Windows. Just click on that, and then it installs the installer. So whether you're a student or an open source user, you're going to get this executable file. So you click on that, and it pulls up the Qt online installer. So you need an account. For me, I use my school account because I got the educational license approved. If you're an open source user, you log in with that account. And now we're going to install Qt on the computer. So you log in, like I said, and then click next. It says, welcome to commercial Qt setup. So I'm going to click next again. All right, so it says help contribute. I'm just going to say no. Okay, so on this page, you want custom installation. So it should be already checked. So click next. All right, so here's where we got to make sure we click the right thing. So on select components for Geant4, the only thing we want is Qt version 5, this one down here. So step one, you just want to deselect all, and even these over here. Deselect these guys. And then you go over to Qt5. Don't click on that. Drop down even more and get only the one for Microsoft Visual Studio. That's what that means, 2019. So this is the only thing we need checked out of everything. I'm going to click next and then agree to the terms. Click next again. Now it's saying the only required space is 1.2 gigabytes. If I would have had the other things checked, it would have been a lot more. I've seen it even get up to like 59 gigabytes. So it's best to just do that specific thing. So now that we're ready, we can just click install. It should take a few minutes to install. All right, so after a few minutes, my Qt finished installing. So click on here to click finish. And then just to see and make sure it works, you can open a file explorer. You can go to C. This is just the operating system stuff. And then here we have Qt. So that's a good sign. If we click on it, that's the version we installed. So we're good. So before we go any further, we should add the Qt bin directory to path. This is going to be important. If you don't do this, every time you compile a Geant4 thing with Qt, it's going to give you errors. So to save a lot of headaches, we're going to do this. So click on here. We click on this folder and bin. We want to copy this whole path, Control C, and then open up your system environment variables. So you can just look up env and you get this. And then we're going to go to environment variables and path. Double click on path. Here's all my path variables. So I need to make a new one and paste the Qt bin directory in there. Now, here's the very most important part because this caused me hours and hours of debugging. Say if you guys have ever used like scientific software before that uses Qt, here's one example, Anaconda. It uses a different version of Qt. It uses version 6, I believe. So when Geant4 is compiling, it's going to start at the beginning of the path, go down, and once it gets to Anaconda, it will start using the Qt bin directory from Anaconda, which is version 6. And then Geant4 isn't going to work well with that, and it's going to give you a bunch of errors, and you're not going to know how to fix them. And anyways, the fix is by clicking on this, and you move it up. You have to do this a bunch of times, move up until it gets above Anaconda. Or if you have, I'm sure there's other applications that use Qt version 6. If you are aware of any of those, then you just got to move this one before that one. All right, last one. I believe that's good. Well, I might want to move it above the Mathematica just in case. But yeah, everything above here will not use Qt, but this is where we want that to be. So now remember to save your environment variables. You have to click OK, OK, and OK. Once you click OK in all three, it's saved. All right, guys, now that we have Qt installed on our computer, we can go ahead and compile Geant4 with Qt. So if you watched my last video, we kind of already did this, but I'm going to go through it again. So first of all, I'm going to navigate my Geant4 folder, which is in users, John 9, and Geant4. So this folder is where I downloaded that source code zip file. Then I unzipped it, and that's what this directory is. And then this directory will be inside of the zip file. I personally changed the name to source because it makes more sense, but inside this folder is this stuff. So if yours has a different name, just know that I'm going to be using the name of source, and I'll show you why in a second. So in order to build Geant4 from this source code, we want to open the CMake GUI. This is the easiest way that I've found to do this. And it's asking for where's the source code and where to build the binaries. So what we want to do is browse source. We're going to find that source folder. All right, here's our source folder. Double click on that and select folder. All right, so here's the correct path to our source folder. Now for build, we want we want to build the binaries in another folder called build. So what I'm going to do is copy this path, paste it in here, and instead of source, I'm going to delete source and write build. All right, guys, so once I click configure, it's going to, let me show you. I'm going to put this on the side. So this is our source folder, right? If I click configure, it's going to say the build directory does not exist. Should I create it? I'm going to click yes. We need to specify Visual Studio, click finish. And then as you can see over here on the left, they created the build folder. All right, everybody. So after a few seconds, about 30 seconds, the configuration finished. And last time, if you remember, we clicked on install data. That's important. But after that, we just ran it. But this time we're going to click on use Qt, this option right here. And once we generate this build, it's going to actually use Qt. Also, remember on this top line, CMake configuration types, just delete everything except rows. And then also install prefix, right? We need to switch this one as well. So for install prefix, we want to browse. We want to go back to our Geant4 folder. So that's in C. All right, we want to go back to our Geant4 folder where the build and source directories are. And then we want to right click, new folder, and make a folder called program files. Double click on that, select folder. And this is a good path for the install prefix. This is where all the data is going to be. It's really nice to keep it all in this Geant4 folder for organization. So if your GUI looks like this, it looks good. So now we click configure again. All right, guys. So once we click configure that second time, as you can see, all of our original options turned white, but then we got all these new options pop up. And these are all related to Qt. So in the past, when I tried doing this, it didn't automatically fill all these out. It said something like dir not found on a lot of these. This time I got lucky and it automatically filled all these out. But I'll show you, if you go back to my instructions on GitHub, scroll down. Here I wrote the correct directory for all of the Qt related stuff. So if you guys run into what I ran into, where it says dir not found on a lot of these, you can use my instructions, or you can pause the video and look at where the path is for all of these and fill them out accordingly. But since it worked for me, I'm just going to click configure one more time so they turn white. Looks good. And now I can go ahead and click generate. Okay, configuring done, generating done. And then if everything looks good, we can click open project. This will pull up Visual Studio. All right, everybody, we're here on Visual Studio. And on the right side, we have the Solution Explorer. This has all of the Geant4 stuff in it. So the first thing we need to do is all build. We need to right click and click build. Now, warning for you guys, this is good, probably on my Windows computer, this takes about an hour to build. If there's any way you can specify to use more cores or something, it can take a lot faster, but I haven't found a way to do that yet. So I'm going to stop the recording and build this, and I'll be back in an hour. 46 minutes and 49 seconds later, a little quicker than usual, this thing compiled. So that's all good. Now, before we move on, there's one more step that we can't forget. Down here on the Solution Explorer, if you scroll down, there is one called install. This doesn't automatically install when you do the all build for some reason. So we're going to go ahead and right click on this and build that. And then we'll come back when it's done. All right, guys, I'm back and the install finished. It took 6 minutes. So now Geant4 is completely installed on your computer. But before we can use it, we need to do a couple of things for it's called the post-install setup. So I'll go over that right now. All right, guys. So as far as the post-install setup goes, there's 2 more steps we need to do before we can start using Geant4. Step number 1, we need to add the Geant4 bin directory to path. In step 2, we need to create a new environmental variable for the Geant4 datasets. All right, guys, so right now we're in our Geant4 folder where we had the source code, the build directory, and the program files. Click on program files, and then here's the bin directory. And if you need a refresh of that, it's here on the GitHub tutorial as well. But what we need to do is take this path, copy it. Then we want to open up our system environment variables. So just start typing environment, and here it is. Okay, we're going to click environment variables, click on path, and then you want to create a new one and paste that path in. I already have it pasted right here, but if you didn't, you just click new, paste, and then remember to press OK, OK, and OK in all the windows. I'm going to press cancel because I already had it. Back in our Geant4 folder, the next step is we need to make a Geant4 data directory environmental variable. So to do this, we go to the program files again, go to share, Geant4, and data. So in this folder are all the data sets that we have downloaded. So we need to take this path, copy it, then go back to our environmental variables again. This time, instead of adding this to the path, we need to create a new variable. So here on user variables, you click new, and then the variable name is important. You need to name it Geant4, all caps, underscore data, underscore dir, like that. Then in the variable value, paste in that path we just copied from back there, and then you press OK. Now I'm gonna do cancel because I already have it added right there. This is what it's gonna look like when it's added. And then you press OK and OK and OK on all the windows to save. Okay, everybody, congratulations. We have successfully installed Geant4 with Qt on our computer. So just to make sure and test to see if it works, I'm gonna run a quick example, show you guys how to compile that. So first of all, let's go back to our Geant4 folder. Okay, now we're gonna go to program files and go share, Geant4, examples. We're gonna go with basic, B1. There we go. So in this B1 folder, it has the most basic Geant4 example. So in order to run it, we want to open up CMake again. And this is kind of a shortcut with CMake. If you find a file called cmakelists.txt in your B1 directory, you can click and drag it into here, and then it will, it will give you, it will put in the path already. So source code is in that folder. Binaries, we're going to create a new folder called build, just like that. And then we're going to click configure. It says the build directory does not exist. So I'm going to click yes, create, finish. Perfect. So here is our window to build our example B1. As you can see, there's a lot more directories that pop up because we're using Qt. Just make sure these all are valid directories. And if not, you can go in and switch them. Take a screenshot or pause the video. Okay, so as far as this goes, we're gonna just put release instead of all those options. And then this should all be good. I'm gonna click configure again. They're all turn white. Now generate. All right, generating's done. Now we're gonna click open project. It's gonna open Visual Studio. Now we're going to compile example B1. Okay, guys, we're here in the Solution Explorer again. Instead of doing all build, we're actually going to right click on example B1 and set as startup project. And that'll turn it bold. And then we're going to right click on that and click build. That didn't take too long. It only took about 11 seconds to build example B1. So if you look here in this line, I don't know if you can see down here, but it shows you a path where it downloaded the executable file that we can double click on to run example B1. So it's in share, examples, B1, build, release, example B1. So go back to our file explorer. Okay, we're gonna go release and example B1. Double click on this and we should see our GUI pop up. Perfect. It's exactly what we want to see. Congratulations, you guys. We have our cute GUI popped up. It's looking very cute. We can do cool things like we can run, we can do init viz that starts up a visualization. Then we can do viz. It should pop up this thing. There you go. And this way you have, this uses OpenGL to visualize. So there you go, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you later. Take care. Bye.